What is up, guys? Wraith here, Grey Bearded Gaming Society. We are back on our little P99-9Lives Challenge character here. I've never even tried to pronounce this little dude's name. I guess Trafton, something along those lines. We been merrily trucking along in the newbie zone as we have been doing. And we're taking our time. Insta-gib. Apparently we'll start thinking we're a rogue here for a couple days. So one of the things we were able to do after the end of our last video was we were able to finally get our hands on a little two-handed sword. Now it's still of the rusty variety, but it was free. A skeleton was nice enough to give it to us. And of course, as we discussed kind of at the end of the... I'm trying to remember if we discussed it at the end of the last video or did I push it right off the end. I basically invested some of my early plat into a couple of early armor upgrades, just some of the patchwork stuff that we could find right here in town, just from people, especially handing in crushbone belts and crushbone shoulder pads like gangbusters. We were able to get some of the little patchwork stuff, really cheap stuff, nothing spectacular. A free beer, we'll grab that anyway, because I'm not going to leave anything behind. But it just helps our armor class just that much more, as one of the things that we did discuss. Of course, today was being as we are a hybrid. One, we will suffer the experience penalty on the classic, and that's fine. And not a very big deal there. We're not even going to get any spells for another 6 levels, so it's going to be a while. And then when we do get the spells, since we are that hybrid who's going to have that combination, we'll be using at level 9, basically, we'll be using level 1 cleric spells on the classic server. This one, of course, is not going to be like on the live where I'm going to have a bunch of unique paladin spells. Crack staff, money in the bank. Money in the bank, we will take it. Now, of course, the one I think I will say it's been super handy, as I've mentioned it before, like my other character on the server that's, that bat will kill me, kind of my keeper character, if you will. I tend to try to start a mage on a new server, or a mage, necro, one of the classes that solos very well, very durable, kind of does their own thing. And, of course, with that little dude, all of our money has to go into our spells early on. It's all about getting that pet. It's all about getting the spells online. It doesn't really need a lot of gear. That's been the investment. With this guy, I'm pretty sure the investment early on is probably going to be some armor. We mentioned it last time where I will probably start saving up here and start working on saving towards probably some banded armor. If nothing else, the chest piece and the legs, just to get a pretty solid armor upgrade start. Now, of course, at these little low levels, there's really not a lot we're going to do but sit here and kind of auto attack and work our way through things. About the most important spell we have in our arsenal right now, of course, is Lay Hands, which isn't as much of a spell as it is, of course, our class ability. Now, of course, that thing's on a very long cooldown, so it is hardly a save me button. But we're about to need some saving because this little crack chick is giving us all we're then. We're out of here. Let's not drop a death too early in the newbie zone, especially not to a chicken. Let's save me, little guard. You are much cooler than I am. And the little chicken is just not working out. Alrighty then. We'll sneak back out here before the little theme music kicks off again. But yeah, so I think that's pretty much caught up. I think as to where we're at. Like, so we're a bubble and some change into level 3. We have a two-handed sword now, which is what I wanted to do. And I believe I mentioned it last time. Mostly it's because the damage cap at the early levels. Your strength will not make you hit harder per se with a weapon. At this level, you're still going to be under the damage cap. But what it does do is let you hit for your max damage range more often at this size. So just by proxy of being a dwarf, we've got pretty solid strength. We put some points in there, which is pretty nice. So we hit pretty hard most times. We get quite a few really nice 20-point swings. We're kind of hoarding bone chips, by the way, because at some point somebody may buy these from us at some point. We'll find out. But we should hit towards the upper end of our range more often at this size with a two-handed weapon. That range, of course, goes up to 20 damage. As most one-handed weapons, you're going to cap out at around 10. And since we're not going to find weapons at this size that are going to be super fast, you're not going to be, again, because we're not twinked, right? I'm not going to be able to get a weapon that's going to double the speed of this two-hander and be able to outparse it on paper or anywhere like that. It's just not going to happen for me. So coming out of the gate with a two-hander is the way to go. Clock this thing with a one good shot, and it's pretty much all it takes. And I don't remember these things sell for much, but whatever, we'll have one. So mostly that's kind of the plan. We are going to tear around through the newbie zone. We're going to continue trying to march forward and try to be as careful as possible and not leave a little dead dwarven corpse somewhere. There's enough of those lying around. I think one of the other things that we did kind of touch on our last get together was how the server has been so popular. The server launch was so popular that we had, I want to say they were kicking population levels in like the 2,700 players, I think. I don't have an exact number. I didn't really keep too tight tabs on, but it was a lot of people. And because of that, the newbie zones were absolutely packed. Every newbie zone was absolutely packed. You could barely get your hands on any kind of mob. There was just so many people swinging. And it's great to see that many people playing EQ. It's great to see that kind of attention can still be garnered for the game. I think it's awesome. Again, I've been doing this for a very long time, so I mean, I love it when you got a good population on the server again. But it was so much, it was kind of obnoxious, just being honest. And not even so much as a standpoint of like mean players or rude players. It wasn't really a kill steal situation. It's just so many people. You're bound to have those accidents where multiple people are going to try to be coming at something at the same time. You know, most of them, at least everyone that I had, you know, there was no conflict. It was more like, hey, sorry, my bad, didn't know you were going for it, you know, that kind of thing. But since they opened up the teal, the population has thinned out in the newbie zone, which has been nice. At the same time, you know, we're a couple of days in, probably a solid week out now into the server. Again, we are doing some of our other ventures at the same time, but the newbie zone is much more manageable now. Like I said, we did the Who. There's 39 people, in Butcherblock right now, which is down from, I think when we checked one of our first videos, there was over 100 people in the newbie zone. Makes it really hard to deal with. So we should be able to truck along at least a little bit easier now. The population is going to get a little bit more spread out. So it's to open up some nice early areas for us. Like I said, but for the time being, we are going to truck through. We are going to just chop to death anything we can find. Again, I'm still trying to focus on a lot of the humanoid style things, the goblins, the little skeletons here. I'll be super happy when I can reliably kill the stinking chickens. As the smaller ones I can take, some of the big ones still give me a lot of trouble, as you saw in the last one. That still leaves me running through for the guards. But the more humanoids I can take out, the better, because maybe we can fill in some of the rest of these other spots with some free armor drops. So I am going to keep trucking along, playing Chop Chop in the newbie zone, and we will check back in with you guys here in a bit. as you can see, guys, mostly at this point, we know, I mean, as expected, it's just trucking through the newbie zone, killing as many things we can, and watching out for those stupid chickens, because we are still just not cool enough to go toe-to-toe with those guys. Thankfully, we have Spirit of the Wolf, which I don't know how much longer we shall have it. We'll have to start paying much more attention when we don't have it to save it some of those running aways that we've had so far. But we're about halfway through level 3 now. We will sell, we'll clear up, we'll farm a little bit more, trying to handle some of the weight here with our little junk coins. But as with any new character, it's kind of the par for the course, is to truck the newbie zone, see what you can do. Big thing, of course, with us is we're not going to try to get too brave, because with only 9 lives to spare, we do not want to be throwing any of them away here in the newbie zone. But thank you guys for hanging out. I hope everybody had a good time. If you have any ideas, any comments, suggestions, leave them in the comment section down below. We will be checking those as much as we can. And until next time, I hope everybody has a great night.